I'm just out running some errands real quick, and it looks like Larry decided to hitch a ride on the hood of Wyatt's CRV here. I'm driving it since the truck's down. You better hang on, buddy. You better hang on. Oh, Larry, easy, easy. You're gonna fall off. Hold on, we gotta pull over. Oh, where are you going, my boy? I should not be recording and filming. I'm sorry. But Larry is trying to commit suicide off the side of the CRV here. Larry, just knock it off. Don't make me fling you off these windshield wipers. Oh my gosh, I gotta go grab him. Easy, Larry. Easy, Larry. Easy, 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 Larry. I'm here to help. I'm here to help. You know what? Just jump off so we don't have to do this. Larry, okay, you know, good enough. Go. Get into the grass. No, don't go under the... Larry, what are you doing? Don't go under the car. Oh my, he literally crawled back up onto the wheel. Sorry, boys. I did what I could. He crawled right back up onto the brakes. I don't think I can do any more than I did. I hope he doesn't get all smushed up in there. I'm sorry. I tried to save Larry, but he might turn into a lizard smoothie hanging out in the wheel well. What's up, guys? We are staying busy today. Right now I'm working on the white MR2. In the last video when we had this thing over at the track, we launched this thing without having the slipper on, and it chattered the tires really hard. Transmission started to make noise, so got the transmission pulled out. Just went ahead and got that guy yanked out of there. And while the transmission is out, we also pulled the clutch off to take a look at it, and she is pretty wore out. This is the original triple disc clutch that has been in the car ever since we first put this build together. And this thing has a lot of passes on it, like probably over 100 with drive time on the street, all kinds of stuff. And these guys are wore completely out. Look, there's literally almost no material left.
This one you can see
discs.
literally where it's gotten into the disc, where there's no friction material at all.
Yeah, like, look at that. It's literally, eating into the metal disc right there. Nothing left.
What's still crazy to me is like the car showed no slip. So we have all the data now. We can monitor clutch slip. And how these things are still holding on is beyond me.
Unless there was that tiny bit of slip on the dyno that day. But we don't think it was the clutch. So.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the data says, it was not. So it's still pretty wild to see how far
it went
down
a 7
these
on
things,
those.
are cut down. Like, this is obviously the worst one. The other two aren't as bad, but they're not great either.
Yeah, but look at that. We need a better quality camera for the up close, but there is literally nothing left on them.
Wild.
In some spots, it is all the way down. So
like, this is the first disc.
That one a little better.
So like this one, there's still material there, but it's not in a whole lot better shape. You can see there's parts of it where the materials just straight come off of it. But I mean, for as much abuse as you've put this thing through, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, this thing has held up good. So while the transmission is off and we have it apart to look at it, we're gonna send this clutch and flywheel back to Clutch Masters and get it all refreshed. So that is what we've been using in the car the whole time. This is a Clutch Masters 725 series triple disc clutch, and it has worked beautifully, and it is just time to get this thing refreshed. We have had no issues whatsoever, so glad we double checked on that, because I think if we put it back together, it would have started slipping very soon.
We would have started trying to push this thing any further. It would have definitely been a no-go.
But yeah, got that out of the car. Hopefully get that packaged up and shipped out before the post office closes today. And then if we have some time tonight, plan on pulling this thing apart and seeing what the damage is. We were also double checking that it wasn't the axles, because you can kind of hear a click as it was rolling into the shop, but the axles seem like they're all good. So it does seem like it is still coming down to something in the trans, and we're just gonna have to pull it apart to double check regardless. And while I've been working on the white MR2, Wyatt has been over here working on the red giveaway MR2, and he is making a whole bunch of progress on this thing. Check that out. We got our charge pipe ran with our Turbo Smart blow-off valve welded on there. The intercooler is all mounted up underneath the car as well with the fans. Doing a killer job. We got the manifold on there, the intake all good to go, along with the fuel rail and fuel system. It all primes, no leaks, and whoever wins this car is getting the Boosted Boys K-Tune fuel rail along with it. We just had to pick up a Type S throttle body for the new intake manifold. Got that guy on there.
So right now I'm just buttoning up the intercooler stuff, and then after that it's like oil lines for the fitting, or the oil lines for the turbo, little fittings for that. vacuum lines, stuff like that. And then I just got to lay the harness on it, and the thing's pretty much ready to go. We got a couple more things to clean up in the interior, and then car's pretty much ready to go to its new
You also
home.
got the coolant lines all done as well,
Yeah, they're
along
all
with
done.
the 2 lines going to the heater core.
Yeah, so the heater core will work. The car no longer does not have AC, but yeah, coolant lines are all ran. This one's just hanging out down here, but this guy kind of comes up and goes to this guy. Once it's all buttoned in there, it looks good.
Nice. And we got the billet K-tuned shifter deal on there for our new shift cables, so that looks really good in there.
Yep.
That is
Car's
a
gonna
nice
shift
piece.
like a dream now, so just getting it all buttoned up, making it a completely ready to go turnkey car for whoever gets to take this thing home.
Yeah,
Kind
it
of
is
jealous
coming
now.
along good.
This
Yeah,
thing is like,
it's looking awesome.
it's getting there. It's gonna be sweet.
Well, guys, just got the top piece off. I was just going to keep time lapsing until it was all the way apart, but I think we found the issue. Looks like this top bearing is letting go because I was going to break these nuts loose, and look at this whole shaft.
Yep.
Moving around like crazy. There's a bearing built into this piece right here. That's like a built-in 5th gear cuff, basically. There's one bearing there and one bearing there for that shaft, and that bearing is definitely not in place for it to move around that much. Yeah, it wiggles a lot. Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
That bearing should be nice and tight to keep that mesh between the 2 gears tight, and she definitely let go.
Yep, so it looks like it might just be another bearing failure. So we'll have to keep getting it apart here, see how bad the damage is, and hopefully not too many of the bits fell down in there and tore some stuff up.
Yep.
But yeah, that bearing is cooked.
Definitely just from chattering the tires. Like that thing freaking smacking in there. I'm sure
Yeah, that
just
hard
destroyed.
launch probably put a lot of pressure on that bearing
Yep.
and just cooked her.
Those bearings are strong, but they're brittle. So I'm sure
Oh.
just shocked it.
Get this other half off, see how bad it is in there.
Yes, sir.
We just got the other half of the case pulled apart on this thing, and me and Wyatt were over here celebrating. It looks like everything is freaking brand new still in this transmission, ready
It's
to
in
go.
So good a shape.
We're like, oh, we just got to fix that bearing, good to go. Even the 5th gear, you guys have seen us pull these apart, and the 5th gear usually gets a lot of heat in them, especially on this slider right here. And look at that, everything looks literally brand new still. We're celebrating. I have the bearings ready to go. Oh, we can stick it back together. And then
I found a little piece.
we
buddy.
found a little piece
So that is a
from somewhere.
I'm not positive, but I'm 90% sure that is off your counter shaft.
It
for
has
the
to be
final
because
drive.
it's pretty long.
What's good though, I mean, good and bad, the final drive's in great shape. I think it just needs a counter shaft, but that's big expensive, so kind of sucks, but kind of good.
Well, if that is off the counter shaft, then it's literally the same thing we just had to do with the NSX's trans, except
Yep.
this one is in much better shape
Yeah.
than the NSX trans. But go ahead and spin that real quick. Won't be able to see it on the light, but I'm gonna watch. Yep,
Right there, missing it.
yep.
I knew
Can't
it.
see it down in there.
Shattered the tires
But-
and broke that poor thing off, dude.
Yep, nicked a 2. So that's why just while driving, it's just going tit, 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 tit.
Yep.
And if I had tried to make another pass, that would have really let go.
Yeah.
So good thing
It's
I
good.
said
I mean, that
no.
was a super clean cut. Like, it just had to chatter the tire once and just boom, whole tooth gone.
Dang it, dude. And then that also makes sense that maybe that's why it took that bearing out. So maybe
Yeah.
that tooth chipped off first, and then
Wedged it.
it
or
kind of,
something.
yeah, put some pressure
knows?
on the counter shaft here and actually pushed into that bearing. Damn, dude, 2 broken shafts in a row.
You'll have that.
Not
on
a
big
good
chunk.
week for us, boys.
Oh, man.
But it's not a big deal. I know what part we need now, and we'll get it ordered. We'll have it here soon. And then once the shaft comes in, we'll just replace that guy, and everything will be good to go. So other than that, everything looks
Yeah.
beautiful in
At least
here.
we don't need gears or anything. Like, that's pretty expensive.
Yep,
parts,
just new
so-
shaft, new bearings. We'll probably go ahead and re-bearing this thing while it's apart. I'll re-clean it out, rebuild it like it's a fresh one anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that though, I'm glad that everything else is looking brand new. There's no uneven wear on all of the gears, all of the sliders look in great shape. All of the dogs look like they're in great shape. Look at this, literally still looks brand new. Look at that, dude. The dogs look beautiful. everything looks in great shape. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look how good the edges look on those dogs.
Yeah.
And
They
I
look
mean,
good.
this thing has been through a lot. For
Yeah.
all that to only just bust a little tooth on a super hard launch with no slipper, any transmission would have done the same. You know, it doesn't matter what brand, that is bound to happen. You're going to break stuff when you know, launch them incorrectly like that.
Yeah, especially on a sticky track with slicks. I mean, the way that thing
Dude,
chattered,
it chattered
hooked,
like
and then took
so
off again.
bad. But we found it, boys. So we'll get a new shaft and we'll fix it in another video. All right, guys, so we got the MR2 pushed out of here for right now until we get the parts we need to get the transmission back in this thing. Nice thing about having that mid plate is I was able to put it back on and actually hold the motor up into place without the transmission, so we could actually make this thing a roller again. But I got the tires and everything back on. It's gonna sit in this spot for a little bit. And this is actually where the jet boat was sitting. We just got the jet boat pulled out. She is sitting right over here. And we are actually getting ready to mock up the K-Series inside of this thing. Just roughly, we just want to get an idea of where everything is sitting. So we're actually gonna have to use the lift to get this thing up into the air, because we got the engine hoist out the other day and we were gonna try to use the engine hoist to get the engine in there, but the legs of the hoist do not go underneath the boat far enough before it bottoms out. So it is just not long enough to reach all the way into the boat to get it in there. So we figured we would chain this thing to the lift it as high up as it can go, and then we're gonna slide the boat underneath and place it down into the boat and see what kind of room we are working with. And then also I want to give a huge shout out to Brian over at Hasport, because right here in this box we have ourselves some K-Series S2000 swap mounts, and we are going to see if they will work for our jet boat application here. So basically these will bolt to the side of our K24 engine, and then we have these nice billet mounts with the poly inside of them, and these are set up for a rear wheel drive configuration in an S2000. It actually sets these mounts just off to the side, so we actually might be able to build something off of these guys right here. So right now we're gonna go ahead, get it lifted up. Oh, pop the chain a little bit, but get this thing lifted up and see if we can't set it into the boat briefly and see what it's looking like in there. We're not even sure if this is gonna go high enough, because we kind of need some more slack on the chain, because the arm is gonna hit the side of the boat when we try to drop it back in. But it's looking like that is high enough to swing it in there, but we're not going to be able to set it down because of the arm there, unfortunately. Yeah, we don't have enough room
right there.
I mean, we could kind of shimmy it in through here. I don't know, this is gonna be tougher than we thought, getting that thing in there.
Well, do we swing the boat over there and kind of let it down? Maybe we can put the little cart under it.
I mean, we could swing it under it and just see.
Just manhandle it. I mean, it's 2 people to lift that motor.
That's what I was gonna say. I think you're gonna have to get in there and just make sure this boat is solid on the dollies,
I think it is.
so when we're in there it doesn't tilt off the dollies and cause us to fall over.
Yeah.
So we got to be careful doing this. Yeah, that works pretty good. I don't know, it actually might come pretty close. By the time that that's all the way down, that might be right where it needs to be.
Let's just twist the boat. So
It's definitely gonna get pretty close. All right, we got both our mounts on there. And these also set the engine at the 15-degree factory lean, so the oil pan is actually flat on the bottom. Yeah, we got both our mounts sticking off on the side just like that. We should hopefully be able to make something work with those. We haven't decided how we're gonna attach these yet, but we're gonna have to get it down in there and see. Oh, it's gonna be close. That arm's gonna be right about touching when that's right down there.
Boat will lean.
It will tilt a little bit.
It will tilt.
Yeah, if it didn't have the railing on it.
Yep.
Right about the bottom out on the railing there. That's maxed out. I won't let it go down. It's on the boat. Is there any? There's a little slop in the chain, so.
undo that one, Kyle.
With the lift.
Hey, swapped, baby.
I mean, minimal planning, that doesn't look bad.
Yep. Weld it down. Good to go. That mount sits almost perfectly.
I think we just need to cut those extra pieces of stringer out of there,
Yeah.
and it'll sit right
You
there.
want me to see that real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the mount on this side literally sits almost perfect. So that guy, since this is aluminum and the boat's aluminum, if we had to, we could literally just weld the mount straight to the boat. And then that side, just to get it flat, we might just have to put a little block under it. Just maybe a tiny one, because it's floating right now. And then the pan will just sit right in that valley.
I think we cut those pieces out. I think it'll be pretty close.
So yeah, you put a block
Dude, that
on
looks
both sides.
pretty good in there. So we just took a couple measurements. We're actually about 2 inches forward of where it needs to be.
Good.
Let's just manhandling her real quick.
I think that was 3, but
Yeah.
Scoot her back some. But yeah, that should give us plenty of room to fit the drive
Yep.
right behind the flywheel there.
That's about where it's gonna sit though.
That's not bad, and it already has its lean on it.
Yep.
That's about how it's gonna look. I say we try to throw this on, even though I know the width of this is way too wide. I'm just kind of curious to see how bad it's off.
because maybe we could get rid of one seat.
Maybe we'll make it a three-seater.
Three-seater.
Then that side is just flat, and then this side is
Yeah.
just a bucket.
3-seater would be easy to do. It would
Better than a...
ton of room.
You know, maybe we could make this like a cooler spot or something. You know, just make a notch for a.
Just get a nice cooler and just
Cooler.
make it dedicated cooler.
This we can keep the third seat, and then just like a little indent for a
Yeah,
little
for a cooler.
carry-on cooler.
Yeah.
Then you could keep the weight kind of biased to the cooler and a small person.
Well,
That
I'm
would
still
actually be kind of a good idea.
kind of curious, so we should grab
Yeah,
that
let's
deal.
throw
I mean, it's not it's not close, but it's not terrible.
Here, come.
Oh yeah, it's
You
actually not
guys
that.
roll it forward at all? Like just roll it up and then pull it back.
Dude, it's actually not too far
Pull
off.
it back.
Dude, we might be able to make that work.
Make it work.
The only
It's
thing that's
just-
hitting is the power steering pump. and
We
the
won't
tail.
have this.
the valve
We
cover's hitting
won't
over here.
have the power
yeah.
steering pump.
No.
So I mean, worst case, you notch a little bit out of this seat.
I should have hit him up, be like, yo, just give us 3 extra inches on each side, and we would have been chilling.
Right.
It's not like as bad as I thought, actually. It's still
Well,
definitely hitting hard.
Yeah, it's still a ways up.
Still not ideal, but it's workable.
The intake manifold is going to be the biggest thing. This side, I'm not worried about whatsoever because when we're doing measurements, that'll fit. It's the intake manifold that's going to be a pain. We're going to have to
Yeah.
build something that like literally just comes right off like 1 inch and then just goes down.
I think we can easily shave 2 inches off that intake though,
Yeah.
if we do a custom intake.
It's
And
going to
then
have to be.
If you can keep the seat on that side, get rid
Yeah.
of about this much of it.
We won't even
make
have to
this
get.
cooler or something.
We only like see how it has these bends in it.
Yeah.
We literally just needed this third line on both, right to where that point is,
That's still a decent.
and we would
sized
make it
seat,
work.
too.
That's here.
So if we shortened the seats
Decent sized seat.
about 3.5-ish inches.
Size.
Yeah, if you're me and Ryan size, will
Same
fit.
size. We ain't sitting in the back.
Well, shoot. Out of curiosity, can it lift up and like let me see how far back it comes, and let me see what kind of space there is. Yeah, like set it on there.
Come on back. It comes all the way back.
Dude, it's actually pretty close. It really is.
Can you take?
Because look, it's like in the indent,
Yeah.
and right there, it's sitting on that line.
that motor?
And on this
Not
side,
right
look,
now.
look at the intake. It's not even hitting right now. I'm going in. Get a close look at our clearance with the K, with the 4-seater. Definitely gonna have to modify some stuff.
Look at this dude. Give me the camera. This fool is folding up like a pretzel. Look at this dude.
Getting in there, boy.
Okay. Let me see that. We can show the people. All right, so cover me all the way up. Okay, so look at that. The back is almost down all the way. And intake is definitely hitting right there. But look, if we were able to pull that over a couple inches, we'd be good. And then the valve cover side. It's actually a lot of room back here. Okay, the valve cover, dude. Did you say the engine needs to scoot to the left, Wyatt? Or to the right? Right now, it's almost like, if it went down more, the valve cover would clear. It'd be like basically rubbing on it, but it would squeeze.
Yeah. So the motor needs to rotate left. It needs to rotate counterclockwise, but it
Hold on,
also
also,
scoot to the right.
okay, go up a little bit. There's a hose in the way. I'm gonna pull it. Just lift it off this hose. Just hover it up for a second. Okay, well, now try it again. Oh, well, that bracket's still in the way, but it should sit just like a tiny bit back, more down. Oh yeah, oh dude, if that bracket wasn't there, it'd probably slip right over. Dude, it's not bad. I think we can make it work. Is the back all the way down? Pretty much?
The back is.
Dude, I'm telling you, we can make that work. I'll show you the video. It's actually really close.
Yeah.
So look, there's an angle from the intake, and then
The front's gotta go down solid.
angle from the valve cover is tight too. It's not gonna be easy, but there's actually a lot of room back here. We'll definitely be able to fit a gas tank right here where I'm sitting. Anything else we might need? We could probably just put a little trunk and someone could ride down in here. I totally think this is gonna work, guys. So you can see that mount down there. That works perfectly. And we're resting on the pan right now. There's still some trimming on these little extra pieces they added that we need to do. We have plenty of room for turbo kit stuff if it came down to that. And then you can see that mount right there, just barely hovering. So if we can actually cut out a little bit. Hey, so actually, if we cut out some of those stringers in the middle, the pan will come down almost another full inch. The whole engine will come down another inch. All I can say is making the 4-seater might be just a little challenging, but regardless, if we have to go to 2-seater, it will work.
Yeah, I
That
think
is
we're
easy.
gonna be able to make the 4-seater work. It's just gonna take some clever engineering on how to do it.
Yeah, I'll show you the pictures. It's actually not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still some modification,
but
but
be the intake manifold. Like that's the only thing I think is gonna be close.
so yeah, the start of that V comes like right here. I mean, it does have to go down a few more inches, so we'll push into that, and then the valve cover is literally like just right on it.
Yeah.
So if we're able
thing
to
is-
make that custom intake and suck it in,
yeah.
even like if we got like 2 inches off a custom intake, that would probably
The
almost do
intake's
it.
going to be the only hard part because you got to think this motor's still got to rotate this way. It's got to roll this way more, and it needs to only come over like an inch.
Yeah,
So
actually
it's gonna
the
give us a ton of room over here.
actually the rolling over this way will
gonna
help
help
it.
everything.
It'll help a lot.
yeah, big deal.
Oh yeah, dude. But I mean, hey, it's K-swapped. It's in there. It's not solid, but
It's there.
K-swap jet boat, baby. That looks good in there. That is gonna be so sweet if we can make all this work.
Especially the 4-seater part.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
it can be a 4-seater,
like
that's
400, 450 horsepower in this thing. Like that's gonna be fun, dude.
Go right out,
Go
dude.
right out,
I'm excited. Should we hood dump it? Just right up.
right at the person. Sitting
I was
there
almost
right
thinking
at the
about running the
gas.
exhaust right through here and then doing a cutout right there and just sick flames off the back deck. So if you're sitting there minding your own business, you better watch out. We'll put a big caution hot right here with an arrow.
I call dibs on that side. I don't want to ride on this
Everything
side.
is gonna be heat wrapped. and, yeah, it's gonna have to be.
Oh, that's that. It fits. Now we gotta make it solid, figure out getting the hole cut out for the pump back there and actually get that mounted. Then we'll really know. Once we get the pump and everything mounted up, then we can get our little drive shaft, get all that bolted up, and then get our mounts fully welded into place. Then work on wiring, crank this thing,
Yep.
and we're only a year away from it running.
don't worry, next year it'll work.
Yeah.
2023, we coming out
I was
strong.
gonna say,
Oh, I thought
this ain't one of those jokes
on,
where this ain't one of those month
November.
before jokes.
Oh, it's not like,
No, this is a literal
Yeah, it's-
year.
yeah, not
Not next year.
the beginning of 2022. We literally need a whole year. 4th of July?
Yeah, come on, man.
I bet 4th of July. That should be
Maybe.
doable.
I think that should be the goal.
What's that, like
4th of
7
July.
months?
Yeah, 4th of July. I think we should shoot for
It took
that.
Cletus about 6 months to get his up and going.
Yeah.
And he had Ty working on those things full time.
But there was 2 of them. You know,
Yeah,
That's
twice as
the
much.
work.
So 3 months.
yeah, you
we
do it
should be
half the
good.
time. Come on, Wyatt. You got this.
I actually have this thing to do for the next 3 months.
Yeah, this.
This. I found it.
Well, boys, there it is. K-Swap jet boat. It's official. It's real. It is in there. And I'm so excited with how well that actually fits in there. I don't think it's going to take too much work to actually get this thing up and operational. I mean, we still have a lot of work to do regardless of what engine we would be putting in this thing, but we are actually very surprised with how well the K-Series fits in there. And if we can keep the 4-seater cover on this thing, that would be so awesome. But once this boat is up and going, it's going to be so cool. I hope you guys are excited for the K-Series jet boat build, because this is, I think, going to turn into one of our favorite builds. This thing is just so cool. And unfortunately, as you guys saw, we did break a tooth off the counter shaft in the sequential for the MR2, but not too big of a deal. We already got a new one on the way, so we will get this thing thrown back together once we get all of the new parts we need. I even made a post on Instagram saying I might as well open up a sequential shop called Kyle's Sequential Transmission Rebuilds. Hit me up. I only guarantee one pass. But man, we have torn apart so many sequential transmissions these last couple days. So got to get this one together. The one in the NSX is good. And then I still have to reassemble the sequential that goes back into the Routicy. And I know a lot of you guys are wondering where the Routicy's at. We have stuff still on the way for that. once we get its transmission parts back that we had to borrow for the NSX, I can get that together, get the transmission mated up to the engine, and we're ready for that stuff to go all back into the minivan. We are just pushing and trying to get all this stuff done. We're mainly trying to get the red MR2 knocked out for the giveaway winner, and that is coming along nicely. It is getting extremely close, and we'll give you guys more updates as we get farther along on that. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah, K-Swap jet boat, baby. It's going down. We'll see you guys later.